So, Jack, we've just debated this question and even whether we were going to ask it, because how long does it take to implement automation properly?
And it's a very difficult question to answer. It's very much a case of how long's a piece of string. Automation isn't just a project or an action that you start, you run, and you complete. It's not developing a new feature or implementing something. It is more of a mindset automation. It's not as simple as just purchasing the licenses and there we are, we've done it. AI kind of captures under that a little bit. You can just purchase licenses for Copilot and you get access to a whole suite of technology available to you. But AI is so much more than just a license and a chatbot and what you get out of that. It becomes a tool in every business's tool belt that should be being used as much as possible where appropriate. So to actually implement automation, it's a lifelong sort of exercise of reviewing our processes. Are we doing these processes the best way that we possibly can? If not, we need to define what is that process. Are we currently doing that? What do we need to change to make sure we get there? Once we understand that, we can then put automations in place. We can put workflows together that map that journey. We can put new interfaces in. So it might be forms for data collection, how that data flows through a business. We can look at all of that. And then odds are, by the time that we've finished all of that, there'll be another process to look at mapping. It might be that once we've been through every process in a business and everything is automated, we start right back at the beginning again and we start looking at, well, what improvements can we make now? Technologies change, things grow. How can we keep this up to date to ensure that we're remaining as competitive as possible in a marketplace that forces you to be that way?
And I think the thing is, particularly when, and again, no, the question says specifically about automation, but AI is improving all the time as well. So some of the things that you can now do, or equally, some things that you can't do anymore, because kind of with some of the ethical controls that have been put in place, and some of the parameters around that, the promises of what AI can do is evolving, getting better, but there's more controls and compliance that's being implemented there as well. So I think, just said the kind of the key is actually spending the right amount of time to do it properly so that you actually get a true return. I think what we do see though is kind of simple workflows. Sometimes these quick wins can be as little as a week, but really kind of complex, business critical kind of cross system automations could be 6, 12 weeks plus. But a lot of the time the quick wins aren't necessarily massive projects, are they? It could be a week, a couple of weeks worth of work, but you can see a huge gain from it, and don't want to say it's necessarily just a one-time investment, but it's a repeatable thing. What you spend on it, you're going to continually kind of get back. So, how long's a piece of string? Yeah, it's funny.
I think once businesses sort of see the benefit, the return on investment that they get from automation, I don't think they'll ever want to stop running those projects. I can't imagine a business that would run out of things that they do that is part of their necessary procedures. And even once you've gone through all of those, not the unnecessary, but the less important procedures, the gains that you can get across the board are always going to be there. So once you start doing that, as much as you can automate as possible, that is all going to benefit your business, not only in the amount of work that you do, but you mentioned earlier around scaling of a business as well. If to scale a business and bring more customers in, you need to bring more personnel on, eventually you are going to hit a point where you have to bring more people on to be able to help manage the amount of work. But if those numbers are directly correlated with each other, to bring on a new customer, we need a new X, a technician, a new account manager, whatever it might be. That isn't a business that's going to scale very far. And you need to be focusing on, well, where can we put these tools in place to enable us to bring one number far out of scale with the other, but everything still work. All customers get the same experience and the same benefit that you would be getting otherwise.
I think the final bit that I'll kind of say on it is, I think scoped properly and the process mapped out properly, and spending that time and investment up front, you can actually now turn around and go, actually, this project is going to cost you £10,000, £5,000, £20,000, but your return, even before you start, the actual measurable outcome is you're going to get £100,000 return on it in the first year, the first 2 years, because you've got tangible costs that you can offset against doing that project. And I think, I've worked in IT for 20 odd years. We've never been able to do that in IT. Now with this stuff, we can go, we've got a defined process. It takes this amount of time to do it. It takes this amount of manpower to do that task. This is the measurable return. So from investment up front, you know what you should be getting at the end. And I think that's a really powerful thing.